need a bigger hit pool. And more armor. Mm. Oh. Um, let's see. I'll do the gloves. Let's do that then. Maps. Yeah. Savannah boss. Too bad. Just burning ground. That's something. There are two of them. No. Damn. One shot. That'd be cool. Nowhere for me to. There's nothing on here that I want to go for. Area wise. Always go back to the start. Mhm. Oh, that would be interesting.
Better than coin.
Let's see what else we got here.
snacks.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's salty.
Oh, I went and scraped my leg on the coral a little bit. And it stings a little bit. This is just white vinegar.
Yeah, just regular.
Get that in there. Spot.
Barely a reputable.
Who's next?
Made in Hawaii. Yeah.
Right now.
Oh yeah.
It's 3 o'clock. Wow.
Don't get overconfident just because you beat the first rule.
Oh, it's water so warm.
Isn't it nice? This is just like the perfect temperature water. You want to go and picnic on a tropical beach with me?
This way.
Our 3 boys are back at home because they got school, and I'm feeling a little guilty right now.
I know.
But I'm getting over it really quickly.
Oh, you can save it for later. You know.
Yeah, these are nice bentos.
Had a great time. This is so beautiful.
Hey, Becca, I found half your bra.
I heard follow.
Look at all the banyan tree roots coming down. There's a carnivorous pitcher plant growing over here. See right there? This little pod is full of like stomach acid in the bottom. And insects go inside and they slip down, they can't get out, and they get dissolved and turned into fertilizer for the plant. These plants are growing in limestone cliffs, so they get like no nutrients. So they have to kill and eat their own nutrients. That is way cool. Oh, yeah. This is probably the coolest kayaking we've ever done. Quick, to the shadows, Becca, to the shadows. Our fair Alaskan skin is baking.
A lily.
Yeah, like a, yeah.
Does it smell good?
That is nice. Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
Oh, that's cool. Shallow, it's calm, it's crystal clear, it's the perfect temperature, and there's even shade. I mean, where else can you go snorkeling in the shade? This is pretty cool, and there's just nobody here.
Snacks the boss. Where's the difference if there's 10 now? Ugh. Still a boss.
This is just a warm-up.
It. Fully heated. Which boss is it? Oh, this one. Not terrible.
Understandable if you're a little tired. But the trial yet continues.
Look at all the monsters. And I can do it.
What? Expecting praise?
Um,
Death arrives when and where it pleases.
it's not bad. Definitely going a little bit faster.
was some pretty coral, wasn't it?
Really pretty.
Those fish were.
I think you'll like this next one.
They're just so not scared of me at all. Oh, look at that blitz. There's a bait blitz over there. You can see all the fish coming up. Bluefin trevally are chasing schools of sardines all over the place.
Impressive. Normally, challengers don't survive those. Slay them amongst the flames.
A ball orb. Nope. Nice. Ooh. You're forward, huh? Alright. Not gonna have any room for any loot.
Not many make it this far.
Alright,
Unrelenting
it's fine.
determination.
Damn, sacrifice one. This one's
May their blood fuel
probably the worst for me. Oh, doesn't one shot, so that's good, I guess.
pockets are full.
And that was just a support gym. Yep. Skill gym.
Oh, look at them.
One more. Two. One more, I think. Boss level.
A challenger worthy of praise.
Last one.
Maybe next time, avoid that one.
Oh, that's painful. I hate that boss. I don't know how to really deal with him. Um, Cold fire reduced. Not terrible, but not something I can really deal with. So, Act 2, Ryle.
University lacrosse players of raping her nearly 20 years ago. The story was a national firestorm. She now says she lied about the encounter. First made the claims back in 2006, saying 3 members of the school's lacrosse team raped her after she had been hired to dance at a house party the team was throwing. But now, going on the record on a podcast nearly 20 years later, Crystal Mangum says she was lying the whole time.
I testified falsely against them and made up a story that wasn't true because I wanted validation from people and not from God. And that was wrong when God already loved me for who.
Every stereotype and every caricature, this is every single one of them.
To hear this admission all these years later, it's just extraordinary.
And 3 young lives were destroyed at that time. You know, it was 2006. It was
There's another about it. People will usually assume that it happened, and
the accusation that she was raped. There were charges that did not stand by them either. They were just really silent, but everyone was focused that she was telling the truth. They weren't. Then it went to a national level, and their names became household names.
Is there anything that could come? It doesn't sound like Crystal has a whole lot of assets on,
Well, she's
on
in
her side of
prison.
things. Yeah,
She's in prison right now for murder, and so that's
what? What? Just the casual. No, she can't. Yeah, they can't put her in jail. She's already in jail. Oh, for what? Murder. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Who is this person? Yeah, she's already in jail. So, Kriparian has released his Path of Exile 4 review. You gonna like it? All right, let's see it.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here.
Did I say
Today I want to
POE4?
give you guys my
Yeah, for sure. You know what's gonna be funny is one day POE4 is gonna come out, and Diablo 6 will probably be coming out at the same time, and everybody in the POE so much better than Diablo 6. Oh wow!
take on Path of Exile 2.
Yeah.
I haven't played it for several days, almost a week, but I have
That's a
been
lot.
playing like 14 plus hours a day.
That's pretty good.
And I have been near the top of the ladder, so I have been playing quite efficiently. So basically, I'm at the point right now where most people start to approach in like, you know, a few weeks time, depending on how much time, you know, you might have to dedicate to the game. And I want to give you guys my opinion of things. And you might not agree with some things. You know, there's a game out there for everyone. And I think my opinion is valuable, at least because while you might have your own take on the game, you might be having a lot of fun right now. But yeah, I can kind of tell you how probably you will feel in some time, in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, whatever. That's just kind of how these things work when you have
See,
people
this
like...
is what fucking happened with New World. Is I played the game so much on the beta that I ran into all of the the end game problems, and then nobody would listen to me because they were all level 17 and fishing. They were like, "Oh yeah, that's not what it's gonna be like." And then a month or two later, after they got there, they're like, "Oh, this sucks." I was so mad about that.
Like me, who just play every waking hour of the day, all day when the game comes out. So. As you have seen the title of the video, Path of Exile 2 is ruthless. This is not like describing Path of Exile 2, though I guess it could describe Path of Exile 2. It is actually literal. Ruthless is a game mode in Path of Exile 1, and in my opinion, the Ruthless game mode in Path of Exile 1 has been the pre-alpha test for Path of Exile 2. The concepts behind everything, the concepts behind scarcity, it is like the same thing. And again, I want you guys to understand this is not like an ignorant opinion. Ruthless is what I've mostly been playing in Path of Exile 1. Since
Kriparian's played Ruthless a lot. I remember watching his video on it like over a year ago.
Path of Exile 1 added Ruthless
game
to
is too
its
hard.
game mode list.
Play different class.
I have
Stop
leveled
playing Warrior.
many characters past 90, and level 90 in Ruthless is about equivalent to level 100 outside of Ruthless, so
That's
it
nuts.
is quite a task.
Holy shit.
And I really liked Ruthless, and for a lot of the reasons why I really liked Ruthless, I quite like Path of Exile 2, but as you will see in today's video, there are certainly some issues that make it a little bit less fun. Exile 2, a lot of people who played Path of Exile 1, they were kind of ridiculing Ruthless about how stupid of a game mode it is, and now they're basically playing the graphical and mechanical update to Ruthless. And
it's because it's a better game. The problem is POE1 has turned into such a contrived experience where you're running around clearing entire screens of mobs with one button, and then mobs kill you in one hit. It's so stupid. Like, when you really actually take a step back and look at the way people are playing POE1, it's fucking dumb. Yeah, it's not even a game almost. It's too bloated.
Everyone's having so much fun. How about that?
Oh, so Ruthless, some people are saying they don't know what it is. So what Ruthless is in POE1, is it's like they removed a lot of mobility skills, they slowed down tons of stuff in the game, they made loot way more scarce, and they made leveling harder. It's basically like playing the game on hard mode.
Ruthless is fantastic in Path of Exile 1. I think people were overly dismissive about it, But the things that exist in Ruthless and Path of Exile 1 that people who typically play Path of Exile 1 didn't really like that much certainly are there, and honestly, to a higher degree in Path of Exile 2. So I think Path of Exile 2 may appeal to a new Path of Exile gamer.
That's
but I think
smart, and that's what they should do. Because they already have Path of Exile 1 gamers. They've had them for 10 years. If Path of Exile 2 isn't making that circle of influence larger, why does it even exist?
a lot of people who really enjoy Path of Exile 1 may or may not like Path of Exile 2 in how the game is currently set up. Okay, but overall, I think Path of Exile 2 is a pretty good game. So you might be thinking, why is it like Ruthless? I'll just give you a few examples here. I hope you guys have been enjoying the music. It's nice. Polish in the game is really, really good. Okay. Generally, it's like, you know, if you want to actually get, you know, high-tier maps, you have to literally fully invest in high-tier maps. If you want meaningful rewards from some of these, like League mechanics, you have to fully invest in them. If you just do them a little bit, they honestly feel like a waste of time. The game is filled with just real danger. It's super slow. It's super sluggish. This is the best movements.
I don't even think it's that sluggish, personally. Maybe I'm just being weird. I don't think so. I think it's fine. It's just... Get in maps. I am in maps. It's slow compared to POE1. Sure. Yeah. But POE1 shouldn't be a benchmark. It's too fast. It's too... Like, I remember playing POE1, my eyes would start hurting because I realized that I trained myself to not blink. Because if I blink, I could die.
Skill that I have, and if you hit any object or a monster, you're stopped in your tracks, and it has a cooldown, and it has a lot of other limitations, so it is very much ruthless. It is also very unforgiving. The amount you have to invest to make a character work to go through a boss can be daunting, and honestly, it's not that fair either. Like, you see my character now, I have like 3,000 health with, like, honestly an absurd amount of damage reduction mechanics, more than I've seen on any other character. And I mean, you still get one shot. Like this character, high level map, literally you're getting one-shotted all the time. The main difference from Path of Exile 2 and Ruthless is actually...
That's one of the things I didn't like about POE1, how you would just get insta-gived. I hate getting killed in one hit. It feels very unfulfilling. Like, unless it's something really, really big, I just like, oh, fuck, okay.
The dodge roll. The dodge roll seems to be something they've balanced the game around. And honestly, I don't like it that much. I don't like the dodge roll that much in general, and I don't like the fact that they're balancing the game around it. So what do I mean by, how are they balancing the game around it, Crip? Well, in Path of Exile 1, if you want to... advantages, but you can do that.
Yeah.
In Path of Exile 2, you can't really do that. You can invest.
I think that's a good thing, because that allows them to balance the game. Like, if you have a spectrum that's this big of survivability, you have to balance for this spectrum. If you have a spectrum that's this big of survivability, you have to balance for this spectrum. And so, like, because of that, that's why you don't have as many one-shots in POE2. Now, you do have them, like what he's saying, but they're not...
Fight with intent. Go, use that well.
G215.
An oasis in the desert.
Any map is hidden. All right, merchant, give me some good stuff.
Greetings. The choice is made. Fight with intent. The ritual has been disrupted.
287. Oh, that's painful.
Let's plan.
Mhm.
Good riddance.
301. 9. Anything on this one? Minor affliction. Destroying the resource honor and grants you a boon. Let's do that one. Less damage for boss is gonna hurt. That's all I get. Hmm. Yeah. Purchase items. Additional room.
You will we will succeed. Rest a while.
Okay.
You
Name mysterious. 17. Bronze key. Chem. Supposed to regenerate life. Lunge. And resurrect, but it didn't resurrect me.
A near max level, granted.
Yeah.
But like I did on the ground. The vision.
Okay. Please stop doing on death effects. I hate them. I hate them. They're not fun. That's it. I think they suck. They're stupid. Yeah, I don't want to have to deal with this. There's so many of their absurd. It's annoying. It's so you have to pay attention. I don't want to have to pay. Like, if mob's fucking dead. The only ones that I think are okay are like the fat. Die to an on-death effect, and I think, oh man, I really should have played better. Oh, I think, fuck. Of course. It's not fun. Not a fun vector of difficulty.
Visual clarity and understanding the danger of the events you're facing is not good in Path of Exile 2, and combined with the fact that you almost can't survive anything unless you are looking at everything all the time and utilizing your dodge roll. Like, there are many boss mechanics that if you mistime your dodge roll, you win a lot of people's builds, a lot of
I think that sucks. I mean, even in Elden Ring, that doesn't really happen. You have to fuck up like 2 or 3 times.
Making builds and stuff. The way the game is set up is, if you want to progress, if you want to level, if you want to reach the highest tier maps, you need to make a character that doesn't, like, almost ever die. A lot of the builds that I've seen are people doing, like, tier 1 and tier 2 maps with, like, less than 2,000 health. And
That's
I'm
me.
pretty much going to straight up say it. Some of you guys might not like this.
This guy,
This seems a bit excessive.
Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna happen.
Need more mana. Need more mana. Precise and deadly. Out of mana. No mana.
But those guides are not worth anything
What?
when it comes to
Hey!
dealing with like actual high-level maps. Because in actual high-level maps, if you have 3,000 health, 5,000 armor, are using active block, are keeping your distance, have damage mitigation, have armor applied to elemental damage, have damage reduction by like 20%, have a bunch of minions protecting you from a copious amount of projectiles, you're still gonna get nearly one-shotted constantly, repeatedly. Okay, that's the game.
Oh boy.
So if you see someone, it's like, oh wow, this build is so good, I'm gonna tell you, you're in for disappointment. I've seen like 1,700 life builds. They're just like cruising through tier 1 and 2 maps.
What about 1,400?
That's all they're gonna do. Okay.
What?
That's all. That's it. You maybe add like 5 tiers, and then you start getting one-shotted in every third map.
What?
That actually makes the character unplayable at that point, because if you die in a map, the map is lost. Effectively, the progression to get to that map tier is lost. You are basically completely screwed. And you're set back because you do lose experience if you die at, like, I think level 70-something plus. You actually lose 15% experience, I believe. A lot of experience. So it might mean that you also never level up. Okay.
That's me.
So it is truly ruthless. It is beyond ruthless in that sense. All right. So let's back up a little bit. You're checking out Path of Exile 2 for the first time, and I want to kind of go over things and offer mostly my issues with the game, because you've probably heard enough positivity. I've actually quite enjoyed my playthrough. Overall, I think it's very fun to play Path of Exile 2. I recommend it for you guys to try.
There it is.
Okay, so you start off the game. You're in the early game. The main thing that I dislike in the early game is gems and balance. I don't like their gem system more than I like Path of Exile 1's gem system, because you can't, like, farm to get character power. In Path of Exile 1, if you're playing a character that maybe is just not so good in the early game, or maybe it's not so good in the mid game, what you can do is you can stay in a zone a little bit longer, kill a bunch more monsters, your gems will level up, and this will be like over-leveling, and it'll make the content that you're about to do a little bit less challenging. It kind of has this forgiveness, and it allows Path of Exile 1 to have broadly very well balanced content, because...
Don't agree. No, I think that, like, really... I mean, I don't think that... Like, it's not a thing, like, games don't have that. Like, why? Like, what is this? You don't need to make the game that hard that early. It helps noobs too? Yeah.
Well, you're not in general, but if it's too rigid, which in my opinion in Path of Exile 2 it is, because largely of their gem system, it doesn't feel very good. In Path of Exile 2...
I think it's also the gear. Like, I don't think it's just the gems. For me, it's like the gear. Because whenever I got like a staff, and I got like a level 3 staff that gave me +2 to fire spells, and then I just used Fireball, bro, that worm in the mud area, I don't even know where he was. He was just dead.
You're facing a boss, and the boss is too hard. Your options are basically
get good
to farm a zone for hours and hours and hours, and you'll get like 2%, maybe 10% character power if you get an item upgrade. Because getting like another couple levels is not giving you that much power. The passive tree, not that much power there. Your gems, you literally can't level.
There's not power in the... I don't know if I agree with that, because I feel like there's probably more power in the passive tree now than there was in POE 1. Because, like, you don't have as many... what do you call it? You don't have as many life nodes. You don't have to balance life nodes and power nodes.
Ooh, better than coin.
There's far less. There's spikes in the tree? Yeah, you're actually wrong. I don't know. I mean, I didn't have this problem. Yeah, I from my perspective, it definitely didn't happen.
Hold on. The way that gems work is the level of a gem drops from a level of a zone. So if you can't beat like a boss in the campaign, you can't increase the level of your gems. The best you can do is match the level of the gems of that zone, which usually, again, doesn't give you that much character power if your main gem is already of that level. So it gets a little bit tricky, because they're kind of setting themselves up for a real challenge in finding some sort of balance to this, because not every class is going to be pretty balanced in every single stage of the game, especially the early game. In my opinion, Path of Exile 1's gem system is amazing. I think it's the best skill system in an ARPG. I think it's a 10 out of 10 in terms of mechanics. It can look a little bit daunting, but in Path of Exile 2, it is a little bit more polished of a system. It looks a little bit less daunting, but it's actually not, because the core mechanics and the scaling and the optimal setups are still going to be like Giga Theory crafted. It's not really any simpler in that sense. It might be a little bit simpler for the player that doesn't want to look literally anything up and just wants to die.
I think that the gem system in POE 1 is not that good. I don't like how you have to match socket colors, and I think that it ends up being frustrating for players and constraining for players more than it helps. I think that the POE 1 gem system is much more complex, so if you like very complex gameplay, then POE 1 is definitely going to be better. But that's why I quit POE. You think so? The gem system in POE 1 is why I don't play POE 1? Yeah, I don't really think it's like super great, personally.
Into the game. I don't know how many players like that there are these days. Maybe there's quite a few, maybe there's not. I don't know. Maybe that's something that they're keeping in mind. But overall, the core idea that you can't get power from gems is really kind of weak, in my opinion. And I also think that it's really lame that it's trivialized with trading. So if you're playing in a trading environment, you do trivialize everything. You literally trivialize everything. You can be like, oh, well, all these other players that have been playing the game like crazy I can just buy a max level gem from them. Because, you know, my character, I've been doing...
They have level requirements. You can't do that. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, you can't do that. It means in maps. Well, I thought we were talking about campaign. In maps you can? Okay.
Like some of the highest tier maps, I have like 30 gems that are like level 18 or something. I have like so many. They're worthless to me, right? So like someone who's playing behind me, it's like, Crip, I want to buy one of your level 18 gems. They literally missed out an enormous amount of progression.
Yeah.
And this problem really does start in their gem system, and you feel this problem right away in the early parts of the campaign. For me, Act 2 was the hardest part of the game.
Wow.
Not of the campaign. Of the entire game, the hardest part was Act 2.
What?
Why? Because I didn't get any skill gems. They're pretty rare in the campaign. I just didn't get one. I went from a
Bro,
level...
have I just gotten lucky with everything? I feel like I just got lucky with everything and I didn't have any problems. What the fuck? Yeah.
6 Raging Spirits to a level 10 at the start of Act 3. And in Act 2, I had 0 gem upgrades for my main source of damage.
Yeah.
It was actually awful. And yeah, that doesn't feel good, right? There's nothing I could do in terms of character power other than mindlessly grind the same zone and hope that I get a gem drop. But the buff gems, the spirit cost gems, are just like really, really rare. So yeah, I just didn't get one. A lot of people played the build guide. Glad you guys enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, no problems, Crip. Build's great. Thank you. I was like, yeah. But, you know, you get unlucky with gems, it's not going to feel super great. In the mid game, you're going to...
It feels good to be a minion class, man. It really does. It feels so good.
Start to do ascendancies. The ascendancy system is kind of frustrating. Basically, ascendancies are not free like they are in Path of Exile 1. Getting your first ascendancy point is pretty easy. Getting your second one, you have to do like an ultimatum. An ultimatum is insane RNG. You can do the same ultimatum, and it can be unbelievably easy. It's like just clearing white trash mobs. Or it can be borderline impossible for the build that you're currently playing. I don't think this is...
Ultimatum has a lot of on-death effects, too. I just fucking hate it. Like, I don't know what else to say. I just fucking hate it, and I don't think it's fun. I can complain about it as much as you want, but that's it. I don't like it. I just wish that make the mobs harder. Like, I don't think it's too hard. I just don't like the way that it's hard. They're fucking crazy.
But
yeah, they are.
Generally, it feels that at least the first 3 ascendancy like groups should be a little bit.
I didn't think it was very hard. But oh god, Amaru, it took her like 3 or 4 or 5 times to do her first ascendancy. I didn't even know you could die. I didn't know it was what? That's small. Yes. That's summons Andy? I guess. Try playing melee? She's playing my build. She's playing the summon build.
Should have to like go that
she did the
hard
same
for it.
thing.
It's also Sanctum. Forced Sanctum is not something that everyone's gonna like. You might like Sanctum in Path of Exile 1. I know a lot of you guys did. But in Sanctum, I played in Ruthless. And let me tell you something about Sanctum and Ruthless.
Yeah.
With absolutely 0 movement skills or teleports, Sanctum is not all that fun. A lot of people have been seriously spoiled with Flame Dash to levels that you can't imagine anymore until you hit up some of the Sanctums. Like, I had to do a 4-stage, a 4-floor Sanctum.
I have to lay down before and after that. Yeah, I just have to lay down. Like, holy fuck.
For
Oh
the,
my God.
like, the 4th Ascendancy major
That's
node.
bad.
Those are crazy. Also in the mid game, you're going to start to see like balance start to come in. You're going to start to see one-shots. It's not really easy. I was going to say not possible, but it's kind of possible. It's not really easy to significantly increase your survivability. It's going to be a case where you can't really cap a lot of your resists while you're doing the campaign, but if you're lucky, maybe you'll be able to. But you'll still reach that point where you just can't do a whole lot about it. You can't gain that much survivability from the passive skill tree because there's like only 2% life nodes.
That's right.
They're 3%, so they're hardly even worth it. It's almost worth to just get
Those are in
strength
the
on the skill
ascendancy.
tree everywhere. So
also another component that I don't know if he's going to bring up yet is the attribute system. So the attributes are much more heavy. Like, I feel like I am much more limited by my attributes for gear choices and gem choices than I was in POE 1. In POE 1, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just, like, you know, craft it onto a gear or something like that. Like, I don't even really, it's an afterthought. In POE 2, it's a goal.
Can't actually make your character more meaningfully tanky. The bosses are literally starting to just one-shot you. And it's going to be a case where, again, you either time your dodge roll properly or you die. And this notion starts around the mid-game in the campaign and continues for the rest of the game for most builds. In the end game, and generally for end game, I'm talking about like at least mid-tier maps to end game maps, because the early game maps are actually
I'm still
really
just
easy.
barely in the maps.
You can just dive into the early game maps like they're absolutely nothing. There really isn't that much to them. Like if you're doing a tier 1 map, it's like it's a snooze fest for the Necro Infernalist. But yes, as you go into like tier 6, tier 10 maps, it starts to get pretty serious. The end game is entirely balanced around avoiding one-shots with dodge, pretty much. You're going to see some streamers who are just ridiculously good at the game, at micromanaging the distance between them and the mobs, and they're going to play builds that are barely over 2k health in the highest tier maps. And I'm going to tell you that you are not going to enjoy that experience, speaking to like 99.9% of you.
It's really hard. It's the same as watching like an Elden Ring run where they're using like, you know, the red Tearstone ring, or I think it's Dark Souls run. It's like, yeah, you can do that and kill everything in 3 hits, but you die in 1 hit.
Basically need like 3,000 health and armor and ridiculous defenses to not get repeatedly one-shot, and you'll still get one-shot if you don't dodge at the right times, especially on like bosses and things. Maps are generally too big. Now, this is something that has been talked about. It's, you know, I'm not the first one to bring this to the table. It's just like a real slog to go through some of these maps. Some maps are okay, some maps just feel really big. The visual clarity is very poor. There's some maps where you have to go down like a, you know, like a wood bridge or something, and there's like trees in front of it. You literally can't see your character. And I know it's like strategy, you know, maybe you don't go on there, but like, bro.
I'm gonna be real. If you can't see your character, the game's fucking stupid. Like, you need to be able to see your fucking character. Like, I hate whenever people say, like, there's some, like, really fucking stupid form of difficulty, and people are like, oh, skill issue. Like, yeah, skill issue. Skill issue by the dev in making the game fun. This is fucking annoying. There's always ego Andes. Blizzard, Blizzard difficulty. Oh my god.
What are you gonna do? Go all the way around the map? You're gonna do that to avoid a bridge if there's mobs on the other side? No, they kind of set it up in ways where you have to go through narrow areas where you can get like blocked in by a single monster in some cases. And yeah, you're just
well,
like...
this is those Act 2, those fucking beetles, man. Those beetles are pissing people fucking off. Like, I don't know anybody that didn't get mad at them. Like, the first time I did it, I was fine. Then the second time, like, to be fair, I was, like, not even paying attention. I got killed, like, 3 times. I said, okay, I gotta turn on my monitor now. But, like, and then it was easy. But still, like, God, it's so fucking annoying. Crazy annoying. And that's why they changed the hitbox rolling. And that was a good decision by them, too.
Completely screwed because you can't actually see your character. If you're like, you know, shooting the enemies, from a spot where you can't see your character. They just put something under your character. Bam, 4,000 damage. Sorry, you should have dodged it. So yeah, it doesn't feel very POE1-like, let's say, in that sense. In terms of hitboxes...
Yeah, I think ground effects and... Unless it's a very well telegraphed boss effect, I think that a lot of ground effects in the game are really fucking bad. And they were bad in POE1 as well. This is going to be maybe like controversial, but I actually hate the mechanic where taking a lot of damage stuns your character. I think that mechanic feels so terrible. When you get hit by one attack and then your character flinches and then you get hit by the other attacks and you die. I just think it sucks. It's outdated and annoying. Yeah, it just sucks. Like I don't like it. I wish like I'd almost rather that the first attack just kills me in one hit than I just get stun locked and die. It's a Monster Hunter mechanic. It's not. So in a lot of games, what happens is that when you get knocked down by something, you end up becoming invulnerable for a period of time. So Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls in general is like this. You have basically a window of damage intake, and if you exceed that window of damage intake, then your character is knocked down and invulnerable for a period of time. And then when your character gets back up, then the same thing happens. And then the damage intake is affected by poise.
They are fixing the dodge roll, getting you out of situations.
Stun threshold exists, and it's a good stat. Why? Why? I don't think it's a good stat. I don't think it's fun to scale that. It doesn't feel good. I think it sucks. Yeah. More variables? Yeah, I don't like that mechanic. I just don't like it. Yeah. Probably another reason why I didn't like Dark Souls 2. Then why have resistances? So you take less damage? Not everything should be fun to you? I can't? Well, why not? Why should the video game not be fun? What? Why? I think that, like, there's a lot of vestigial systems that POE1 is kind of holding on to. And I don't think that they should necessarily do that. Some old systems from old games suck.
fix. 110, huh? That off to the side. I don't think there was a boss in this one. Stop the stream.